Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. InWin has a history of making some really unique cases, and yeah, we've got one of those really unique cases here, the InWin Alice. Basically, it's an open air frame with like a plastic chassis with a motherboard tray and something basically to hold in your power supply with a fabric cover that goes over the top. It is completely bonkers, it's completely strange, it's very cheap. So let's do a build, and yeah, now this build, basically there's no reason for it. I just wanted to build in this case, so I just got a bunch of parts that I had, and yeah, I'm gonna do a build, right? That's what we do here. So let's do a build in this very, very unique case. Like usual with all these builds that we do on the channel, we use parts that we've got in our inventory. We don't go out and buy parts, and you guys know what's going on in the world right now with Voldemort and the Death Eaters. It's pretty hard to get any parts, so before you ask why we did or we didn't use some parts, it's literally because of that reason there. And there's actually no reason for me to do this build. There's no premise, there's nothing. I just wanted to build in this really strange and unique case, and it actually weighs absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna start building. Let's go. you guys enjoyed the build in the InWin Alice. Now this is probably one of the strangest cases I've ever had to build with. The cable management is very unique. It's definitely not the best. You need to be pretty creative. And this is like classic InWin style, completely outrageous, does not make sense. However, there will be some people that buy it, because if you wanted to grab one of these cases, I think they're only going for around $55 US, which is completely bonkers, but it also makes sense because it's literally made out of plastic. If you go to IKEA and you buy a garbage bin, it's probably going to be about the same thing. In fact, I reckon you could probably get like an old, let's say, an old jersey, like a sport jersey, and put it on an IKEA garbage bin, and you probably have a very similar case. I'm trying to be nice, Claire. It's really hard.
Try harder.
It is really cool. Like, it does diffuse the light pretty well. You can't see with this lighting. Obviously, you would be able to see it when we do the B-roll and stuff. But one of the things I think is actually quite interesting about this case, this is the first computer case I've ever seen where you can literally undress the computer. Look, I can undress the computer and you can see all of the stuff inside. You know when you like pull your pants down to go to the toilet and it's not all the way, when it's just at your ankles, like when you're sitting on the toilet? This is like the same thing. What? Am I right?
That's appropriate.
It's fine. Like, it's a family show. I didn't talk about all of the intricacies of going to the bathroom. But it's literally the same thing. You just have your ducks around your ankles, and that's it. It's literally plastic. Look, I can flex. I could probably break it really easily too. But it's a very InWin type of case. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see any other manufacturer making anything like this ever other than InWin. It's their specialty. That's just what they do. Like D-frame and all of the other cool cases they make, like the S-frame, the Z-Tower, all of the weird stuff you always see at like Computex and CES and stuff. This is kind of one of those, but a budget version of one of their very peculiar cases. I don't mind it. I would never daily drive a computer like this. You could air cool it and do a really nice air cooled build. The thermals in this thing are pretty fantastic. I have seen a couple of other reviews with people talking about this not actually doing anything at all, and the case just fills with dust anyway. So whatever, right? Who cares? But it's really cool. It is actually cool. It's a really cool concept. I hope they expand on this in the future and do it a little bit differently. I'd like to see someone go and do like a water-cooled build in it, like a custom loop. I reckon I could probably do it. I just don't have the time right now to do that in this and play around and get stuff to fit. But I think they did an okay job on this case. And speaking of an okay job on this case, let's check out the thermals and all that stuff now. Let's do that. As you can see, the thermals are really, really good. The difference between the the difference between the computer being dressed and undressed is between a degree and 2 degrees or half degree. It's really, really minimal. Obviously, that's within a margin of error anyways. Now, I think I could probably repurpose this and use it for a scratch build project that I'm thinking of doing. So I might actually pull this whole thing apart and use it as a base for something very, very cool I've got planned that I've been planning for a little while. But yeah, while we're talking about planning, let's rewind it and talk about the parts that we use in this build, because I haven't done that yet. So the motherboard is the Aorus X570 Master. Awesome X570 board. Really good. Used it in billions of builds on the channel. You would have seen this motherboard probably more than any other board on the channel. The CPU we use is the Ryzen 7 3700X. The reason why I chose it is because it was there, and yeah, it fit the other parts in the build. The GPU is the Gigabyte 2070 Super Wind Force. Now, I haven't used this in a build before. These are brand new cards. I've got 2 of them for an upcoming project. But yeah, never used these before. I'm gonna do an SLI build in a couple weeks, which is gonna be very interesting because it's gonna be a build you're not really expecting us to do, but it's gonna be very saucy. Anyway, let's move along and talk about the cooler. It is the Deepcool Castle X360, 360EX, whatever. It's the white version of it. Instead of using the fans that come with that, I put on 3 white Corsair LL fans and then another LL fan up the top, a black one, because they just kind of fit. And I did all of the lighting in Corsair IQ and also RGB Fusion as well. What other parts have I got? I've got an Aorus M.2. It's not a PCIe Gen 4 one. It's a Gen 3 one. It's got RGB on it. It's their RGB SSD. Also some of that Aorus memory, 32 gigs of that at 3600 megahertz. It's an interesting case. I probably wouldn't daily drive anything like this myself, but I do like that it exists because it shows innovation, basically, like people just thinking completely outside of the square and outside of the box and creating something that is reminiscent of an article of clothing mixed with an IKEA paper bin. Let's call it a paper bin. But yeah, it's cool. $55 US if you wanted to grab one. It's not really a video about the case, it's just a random build that I felt like doing on a Sunday. It is how it is, and yeah, InWin sent the case a couple weeks ago. It's been sitting here, it's been looking at me really funny. And yeah, it's just time to do something with it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a very challenging case to cable manage. I'll spin it around just to show you guys another look at it before we wrap the video up, just to show you what I had to do to cable manage it. I had to use big old zip ties, like the ones that are as wide as like a road. These big ones here. It's got Cooler Master cable extensions, all that. I don't know, there's a PC part picker list if you want to know what's in there. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we always do. Why am I hiding behind the computer? Because no one wants to see me. But yes, if you want to know all the parts and all that jazz, there's a PC part picker list down below in the description. And also, if you want to know what the music is that you heard at whatever time code in the video, I make the music, and there's a link to our Patreon where you can grab it, and all that is down below. Blah, blah, blah. It's Sunday afternoon. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you guys don't have too much cabin fever like I'm currently exhibiting at the moment. And I will see you again later. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't like it, don't like it. Support the channel with the join button. Get early access on Floatplane and all of the rest. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and whatever. I'm just rambling now. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peek, we seek, and yeah, I'm done. Bye. See you, Claire.
Bye.
Have a nice week. See ya.